Hello girls and squirrels, happy Friday and welcome back to my channel. Hello everyone, hope everyone is having a great 2022. I took an impromptu month off in January. Things just kept happening and I was like, you know what? No. You're done. You're done. You need to rest. You need to refresh. You need to start anew because this is not the way we're starting 2022. We're not starting it with chaos. Basically, it was just one thing after another. My partner got COVID, then I got COVID, the rest of my family got COVID. So it has just been, Omicron party over here, but we are all doing better and feeling refreshed and just ready to take on the new year. I hope everything is going well for you guys and you guys are staying safe out there. I made it 2 years without getting COVID, and of course I started my year 2022 out with COVID. But that's okay, because then I got all the bad stuff out of the way and now I'm feeling better, refreshed, and we can move on. So I'm gonna stop rambling now and get into today's topic, which is home decor trends 2022. I don't think I've ever done one of these videos, and I don't know why, because I do sell a lot of home decor and I know a lot of you guys sell home decor as well. I typically only do fashion trends, so I thought it would be fun to do a quick little overview of the home trends we're going to be seeing in 2022. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so just like all of my fashion trend videos, none of these are in any particular order. It's not like most popular to least popular. These are just random. All right, first up, we have nature inspired. This is a lot of natural elements. It's birds, it's mushrooms. We've all seen mushrooms become this huge trend, and it is not going anywhere. Lots of florals and wicker and botanicals and all of that. It's not only visual things like bird prints and like leaf patterns or mushrooms. It's also textures like jute and wicker. Things like that, different kind of textiles, which one textile we are seeing a lot is cotton. Cotton is a huge textile right now, but it is also colors. So like those beautiful greens and browns, those earth tones, kind of like what's in right here and kind of what you see like going on in my own home a little bit. And I of course have my pop of color because I need some happiness in my life. So next up we have Grand Millennial. This is kind of a running joke with my generation. Millennials got all of their grandparents' stuff passed down to them, and we also do a lot of thrifting. So our houses tend to just have this mix of vintage and quirky and weird stuff, but also we have a lot of stuff that's like grandma chic. So, we're rolling with it and we're calling it Grand Millennial. And that is one of our big trends for 2022. This has been a big trend for a while, but it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's amping up even more. Again, with the rising trend of people thrifting and trying to shop secondhand as much as possible. And that leads me to the next trend, which is vintage. Vintage is all the rage right now. It is the top search on Depop. It's the top search on eBay and on POSHMARK at the moment. So vintage is huge right now. If you are not into selling home decor, I highly recommend it. It is a bit intimidating. I would suggest dipping your toes in with things that aren't breakable. Those are a lot easier to pack and ship, and there's a lot less anxiety when you do ship them. I can always make a video about shipping home decor items if you guys want. I have made one in the past, but I can go into more detail in the future if you guys would like me to make that video. But yeah, vintage, definitely pick it up. It is a huge style right now. Like I said, everyone is thrifting. Everyone is trying to shop secondhand. A lot of people are trying to stay away from big box stores and just kind of like cookie cutter things. They want those unique, hard to find vintage pieces, and they want some personality in their homes, and that's what vintage items give to you. Not only do you have a piece of history, but you also have something that's very unique and not a lot of people have, or you may be the only one to have it. So that's the fun thing about vintage. Obviously we love it on this channel, and I'm a little biased. This is my favorite trend of 2022. Okay, so next on our list is Wonderlust. This is kind of a take on Bohemian, but it's it's more travel centered, it's more worldly, it's more cultured. This is basically due to the rise in what's called van life or living in an RV. A lot of people have over the pandemic just kind of quit their jobs, or they started remote jobs and started living the van life, which I am so jealous of. I wish I could do that. I think it would drive me crazy though. After a few months I would just be over it, but I think it's so cool. This is leading people to have a lot of these travel inspired things around them, just kind of this eclectic bohemian Wonderlust aesthetic, just kind of taking different elements from different places that you've traveled and kind of just making your own little world so that even when you're not traveling, it feels like you are. I feel like we all need a little bit of that in our lives. So definitely keep an eye out for stuff like that. Any kind of like touristy stuff, if it's cool. Anything that looks like you could maybe get it at World Market or something like that. Made in India, like brass pieces are always a good thing to pick up. Sisal baskets are another really good one that always sell really well for me. Okay, so next on our list is bold patterns and colors. Now, this can also be described as Danish pastel. There's a good keyword for you to use in listings like this. It's just these funky kind of pastel, but also bold colors mixed together. It's this kind of like Y2K. I don't even know how to describe this. I haven't really ever seen this before, to be honest. It's kind of reminiscent of 80s, but then also 90s and early 2000s, which of course we know is a huge trend in the fashion world, so why wouldn't it be in the home? But it's just like I said, just these funky, weird pieces, a lot of these like geometric shapes, these kind of like just blob, the curvy edge shapes, as you can see right here with the mirror and the tapestry on the wall. But yeah, just adding a ton of color. We talked about that in my fashion trends video. We're leaning towards a lot of color in fashion, so it is translating over to home as well. I think people right now just want some color in their life. It's just a little bit of brightness and a little bit of joy that we all need in this horrible hellscape that we live in. Like I said, don't forget to use the keywords Danish pastel in your listings for items like this. That is a huge search term right now. These are items that are highly sought after at the moment. So speaking of color, let's talk about the 3 colors that we are seeing a ton of in 2022. The first one is green. We are not only as a society trying to lean more towards green when it comes to shopping, it comes to living our lives. Everyone's trying to be a little more sustainable, trying to keep Mother Earth just clean and green. That is also translating into our homes. This ties back to the nature-inspired trend and also pretty much every trend. Green is a really good kind of neutral tone that allows you to stay on the neutral side, but also gives you that added pop of color, especially if you're not into super bright colors. This is a good way to refresh your space with a little bit of color without going too overboard. And that leads me to shades of brown, all types of brown. Warm browns, cool browns. A lot of people are staying away from black and gray, which tends to feel more cold, and they're switching it out for shades of brown. We're seeing a huge rise in brown, which was very big in the 90s. If you're a 90s baby, you remember everything being brown. And we are definitely going back into that, as well as the 70s, which leads me to bold warm tones. So these bold kind of burnt oranges, bold corals. It's definitely reminiscent of the 70s, but it's just a little bit bolder and a little bit spicier. So think of all your favorite warm tones and then heat them up a little bit more. All right, so now that we've covered all that, last but not least on our list, it is all about art. A lot of people are really straying away from big box stores, corporations, things that are just kind of cookie cutter and plain. They're looking for small artists, up and coming artists. So if you are an artist or you are crafty and you make things, now is the time to put yourself out there and be bold, because people are on the lookout for those unique pieces done by small businesses, small creators, small artists, up and coming, rising artists. We'd love to see it. And also don't forget to look at your thrift stores for those unique pieces of art. I know my house is covered in all sorts of unique thrifted art, and also art by local artists and up and coming artists. So definitely keep an eye out for art. And again, if you are an artist or you're thinking about just getting into art or DIYing things, or you're just crafty and you've thought about starting an Etsy shop, now's the time. Now's the time. Even sell on Depop. I see a lot of artists doing really well on Depop, so there's another option for you. Alrighty, so that does it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure and give it a thumbs up on your way out. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite home decor trend of 2022 is. That is a mouthful, good grief. Also, let me know what you're doing in your home. I love to hear about you guys' personal styles and what you guys are doing. It's very inspiring to me. Obviously, we all have our own aesthetic. We all have things that we like, and you don't have to follow these trends if you don't like any of them. Trends don't have to be followed. Trends are solely here for inspiration and inspiration only. So feel free to leave some extra inspiration down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And don't forget, if you haven't already, to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get updated anytime I post. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.